Hi, welcome to the Sew Along 2020 with GourmetQuilter. We're going really well. We're up to part 6, so that's quite exciting. So we're going to do a little bit more applique. We've already done some applique. We've done an emu, we've done some gum nuts. Today we're doing a wombat. Well, actually 2 wombats, because we've got one going one way and we're going to have one going the other way. So I've already done one of the blocks. We're just doing 2 blocks this time. So we've already got applique backgrounds ready to go to start putting our applique onto, and then we put on our surrounds afterwards. So I've already placed my wombat on the background here, and I've already started doing a little bit of the sewing. So if you're already getting the pattern, you'll have something like this, and it gives the wombat to you in both directions so that you can trace them off, so that we've got one going one way, one going the other. I've also suggested that the eye and the nose be done as separate pieces. Now they're very small, so I'm going to show you when I'm doing the eye. But initially we can just get started on this. But there's also on the pattern, he's got 2 feet that are kind of behind, and also an ear and another little ear that kind of break up the stitching a little bit. So what I've gone ahead and done, and you can see it on the back here, is I've done the 2 feet that are behind so that when I come around the rest of his body, we can go straight past those ends without having to worry about those 2 feet. And the same thing, I've done the ear, I've come right in and I've done that ear, and the other ear that sits behind his head, I did that, and then I've gone over the front of his head just so that everything kind of keeps its little bit of perspective. So it's not so easy to see on this side because it tends to blend in a little bit with the fabrics, but it's all there. Just so that you can see that if you can keep the lines where they should be, it does help. Just even though you're not really seeing it, it still just helps somehow. So what I need to do now is, because I've done that front little bit of his face there, up to his ear, I can then start again here and go all the way around, all the way back to here. But I'm going to pop his nose on so that we can include that in that line of stitching. So his nose is really just a little small piece, that a little bit of a sort of a snub nose that wombats have. So I'm just going to iron that on there. So that I'm ready to stitch now. So I can either start, maybe it's easy with a pencil, I can either start here and come around the nose and then keep coming, which is probably what I'll do, or I could start up here and come the other way, but I think it makes sense to me to start here, come around all in one go now, all the way back to his ear. So I'll just get started so you can see, because it's quite tight with the applique, but I will come back afterwards and show you the eye because that's especially tight. So I'm just going to start down here. So I've got my blanket stitch set on my sewing machine, and I've got an open toe foot so that I can see where I'm going, we hope. Yep, here we go. So I'm just starting there, and it's just that little blanket stitch with the straight bit going down just off the piece I'm stitching around, and I've got to stop and turn quite frequently so that I'm only stopping when the needle's on the right as I look at it, so that it is always on that outside bit. You don't want to be stopping where it opens up, where it goes onto the piece of applique. So just take it slowly, turn it every stitch if you need to. If you have a knee lift, that works really well for this sort of work. Just going to snip that thread out the way. And I'll just go around the nose and then I'll be keeping on going. But always I'm stopping to turn with my needle on the right, because that's the straight side of the stitch. And so I'm all set now to just keep going all the way around until I come back to his ear where I was stitching before. So I'll see you again shortly, and I'll show you the eye because that's also a very tight little space. So I'm all set up to do the eye. I have gone ahead and got my needle in position because it's so small I wanted it to be in the right place, and it's just going to go in and out, and I'm just going to have to turn it. It's very small, this eye, for something to be stitching around, but we can do this. So I'm just lifting the foot but leaving the needle down each time because I don't want to turn it while the needle's in the wrong place. But if you just go stitch by stitch, and you want that stitch to be coming in each time straight in, so you don't want to be wrenching it round so that it goes at an angle. And just take your time, and you can go around the tiniest of shapes like this, and it's kind of fun because you can do so many good things. And we're actually only a couple of stitches off being all the way around already. But you could do the eye with a pen if you wanted to, because that eye is now done. So I'll just go ahead and just finish the block off now, and I'll show you very shortly how it's going to look. So I've gone ahead and I've popped my block borders on as well to bring it up to the right look and size that we're after for our applique blocks. So I'm pretty pleased with my little wombat. So we now have the two wombats, so they can talk to each other because they're going in opposite directions, or not. They could definitely have their backs to each other, because sometimes wombats do that too. So that was the block for this time, for part 6 for the sew along, and we'll see you again with part 7. Thank you.